What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today's video is going to be 3 ways that the Detroit Pistons can trade Jerami Grant, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, as you guys know, we're coming up on the halfway mark of this season, and that means that the trade deadline is approaching, and Detroit Pistons have been on the record saying that they have no interest in trading Jerami Grant, and then Jerami Grant has said that, he wants to stay here in Detroit long term. So, but then, there's teams out there, championship contending teams, there's a lot of buyers for Jerami Grant. A lot of teams see him as, their final piece, to their championship run or their championship project. So I think that gives the Detroit Pistons a lot of leverage. And when you have leverage, I think you have to explore it. But before we get into the trades, I just want to give my opinion on what we should do. And I say we because, I'm a Detroit Pistons fan. I stay in Detroit. So, I think, I'm leaning more towards the side of trading him, even though, I do think there's good, if we keep him or if we trade him away. Like, let's say, for instance, if we do keep him, we keeping a player, who's shown that he can put up 20+ points per game. And he's relatively young. He's only 27 years. So he got a lot of, good days ahead of him. So, and then he's also expressed that he wants to stay here in Detroit. That's rare for a dude, who's being pursued by championship teams. He wants to stay here in Detroit. So I think that's really cool. But I think, I'm leaning toward more the side of trading him because I think Jerami Grant is at his ceiling. And we know before he came to Detroit, he wasn't this good. He's taken a big leap. But I think he's at his ceiling. And then even though Jerami Grant is a team-oriented guy, I don't think his playing style helps others around him. And then also he hasn't won us, he doesn't win us any basketball games as being the best player, on our team. So I think, I think winning is the biggest, I think that's the biggest factor when it comes to developing young talent. They got to learn how to win. And then, losing is the biggest stunt for growth. So, that's my take on that. So we're going to start looking at some possible trades, that work for the Detroit Pistons as far as, trading away Jerami Grant. Now, this first one, not really a big fan of this one. Is Jerami Grant and Josh Jackson to the Hawks for, I'm going to try to pronounce this guy's name to the best of my abilities. But Jerami Grant and Jackson to the Hawks for Onyeka Okongwu and Danilo Gallinari. Now, I say no to this one because the Okongwu dude, he's young. I think he's 20 years of age. He hasn't been in the league too long. But for the majority of the time that he's been in this league, he's been injured. So we don't really know what he's capable of. And we don't really have no reason. He haven't shown us nothing to take that type of risk on him. And then there's his size. He's another undersized center in this league. And we already have that, in Isaiah Stewart. We already know how we have trouble protecting the rim sometimes. So we don't need 2 undersized centers. And then, so you got that. And then Gallinari, his trade has a little bit of positive to it. Not as far as his play on the court, but because we all know Danilo Gallinari, he's on the back end of his career. He's slowly declining. But, the Pistons will be able to buy him out of his contract next season, and they will open up some cap space. And we all know we have some, cap space issues, man, when it comes to, we've had some bad contracts in the past, like the Blake Griffin one, stuff like that. But anyways, that's my take on that trade. I would not jump the gun on that trade at all, and I don't think that's a good one. Now, the Atlanta Hawks, they would love this trade. They could use a guy like Jerami Grant. We've watched the Atlanta Hawks struggle this season, and they really need, first of all, they need defense. And Jerami Grant, one of the most versatile defenders in this league. And then they will have a more, formidable second option. They don't have, to me, the Hawks don't have a formidable second option. It's Trae Young, and then it's a different guy. The second guy is a different guy every other night. But I feel like if it's, they bring in Jerami Grant, it'll be Trae Young, and then it'll be Jerami Grant. So I think that's why the Hawks will love that trade. And then this next trade, a little bit more intriguing. We will send Jerami Grant to the Sacramento Kings for Buddy Hield and the 1st-round pick. Now, this trade gets a little bit, this trade is a little bit better, first of all, because they're including a 1st-round pick. So, that's really good, with a young team like this. Right now, we're rebuilding, so we would love a 1st-round pick. And then Buddy Hield. Now, Buddy Hield gives us something that we need so desperately, and that's being able to shoot the 3 ball. Buddy Hield, one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, top 5 in total three-pointers league, I think every year since he's come into the NBA. So he's really good at shooting, but Buddy Hield doesn't play no defense at all. And so that would be that would be another question mark. We're already a bad defensive team, and then we bringing in a player who doesn't play any defense. And then also, Buddy Hield has been he's been on a losing team his whole career. And then we would have that question mark, of him wanting to be in Detroit. We don't want to trade for him, and then he walks away, and we basically gave Jerami Grant away for nothing. So that's another risk factor, a risk factor that I don't know, if I would jump the gun on that. So that's not really that intriguing. And then the Sacramento Kings, just like the Atlanta Hawks, they would love this trade because, like I said, they're a team. They don't even know who their first option is every night. Every night is somebody else getting it going. So I feel like Jerami Grant will come in and he will pitch structure on their offense. And then, like I said, Jerami Grant adds defense and athleticism to any team that he would go to. So, the Sacramento, they would love for the Pistons to send that trade. I think that Jerami Grant comes in with the De'Aaron Fox and makes that team, a lot better. So, that's the Kings and the Pistons. And then this final trade is the one that makes the most sense. We will be sending Jerami Grant to the Bulls for Patrick Williams and Derrick Jones Jr. And I say this one is the best trade because just that Patrick Williams, his upside is so tremendous. He's 6'7" with like a 6'11" wingspan, one of the most athletic players in the 2020 draft class. And then also he's very versatile on the defensive side of the ball. He's very athletic. He can probably guard 1 through 4 and 1 through 5, 1 through 4.5. Wouldn't put him in there against, Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid. But like I said, he's a really solid defender and his upside is tremendous. And then on the offensive side of the ball, he's a great offensive rebounder. And even though he's coming off a serious injury, he's only 20 years old, so I don't think it's going to hamper him, that much. But, on the offensive side of the ball, he's a great offensive rebounder, great at catching lobs, great at tip dunking. He can shoot free throws 83% from the free throw line in college. He can shoot the mid-range, and I think he definitely has the tools to improve as a shooter. So I feel like pairing him, putting him on the squad, with Cade Cunningham and all those other young guys, I think that would really benefit us for the long run. And I think Patrick Williams will want that because I don't think with the Chicago Bulls they have so many key components over there. I don't know if he's going to be able to blossom. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the opportunities he would get, in Detroit. I think there's a lot more opportunity for him in Detroit. And then with Derrick Jones Jr., we get another athletic player that can, cause problems on defense, roll to the rim and finish baskets. He's a decent shooter, not one of the best shooters. So, that would be that. And then the Chicago Bulls will have a reason to pull the trigger on this trade because they would bring in a guy that can play defense, not only play defense, but he can score. When DeMar DeRozan, he could take that pressure off DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and he can be that third option for them. So I think that trade will work successfully for both teams, and I think that's the one trade that the Pistons should 100% pull the trigger on. I think they will love that trade, and I think we will love that trade personally. But if we don't trade Grant, that's fine. He wants to be here long term. But I just feel like he doesn't win us any games. That's stunting our growth. So we're gonna see what the Detroit Pistons do as the trade deadline gets closer and closer. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below which trade scenario is your favorite or which trade scenario works the best for the Pistons. Or, comment down below if you don't think none of these trades are good, or if you don't think we should trade Jerami Grant at all. And so yeah, let me know down in the comments, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.